Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas here with you this morning, finding out about something that may be to some people a new concept, but often if you listen to this program, you hear mentioned more often than you even think about, because so many folks who come on talk about this would not be possible without the support of the Stark Community Foundation. And we hear it time and time again, and I said, we need to bring in the Stark Community Foundation and talk to you all. We are visiting this morning with Bridget Neisel and Lori Keeney. And Bridget is the Vice President of Advancement for the Foundation. And then Lori's involved with the Women's Fund. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice
You
to
are
be
President of the Women's Fund?
I am Chair of the Advisors Committee.
Got it.
Here's
All
my
right.
technical
Okay. That's the technical. Well, we want to call you by the right title. So, Lori and Bridget, we really appreciate both of you being here today. Bridget, let's start with you. What is the Stark Community Foundation?
Well, Stark Community Foundation is similar to any other community foundation in the country. Basically, at our highest level, we are here to serve our community. We partner with individuals, families, businesses, and nonprofit organizations in our community and help them with their philanthropy and fulfilling their mission, whatever that may be. It may be on a personal level, it may be on a business level, or it also may be an organization that wants to help fulfill their mission for their nonprofit organization. So we partner with those individuals and help them carry that out, and hopefully help them make their philanthropy, do it in a way where it's as efficient and effective as possible back out into the community.
So someone might come to you and say, I have a dream that I would love to fund something to help this people in such and such a situation. Maybe because they've encountered that kind of a situation and now they want to pay forward and help others going through it. Is that basically how this works?
It is. I mean, we like to say we have a little over 600 individual funds at the foundation. And we always say each one of those funds represents something personal to somebody. And of course, we can't speak for them in terms of what motivates them to want to give back to the community, but you're exactly right. It's anybody that has a passion for whatever that may be, and we're just, hopefully we're the conduit to make that come to fruition.
For example, what are some of the funds that are available through the foundation?
Well, like I said, we have close to 650 individual funds. So
you don't have to name all of them.
No, and thank you, because I cannot by memory. But it runs the gamut in terms of those individuals that are passionate about the health of our community, or the women and children in our community, like the Women's Fund is at the foundation, or education is a prime motivator for them. So it just really runs the gamut in terms of the issues that our community is facing. And for others, it's as simple as memorializing someone that they've lost. And it's a way to carry that person's legacy back out into the community in perpetuity. So like I said, it's very personal.
Once a person launches a fund, is it then up to that individual to keep it on its feet, or do you have donors from across the gamut participating as a community?
Again, that varies as well. I mean, we have some donors that are very active in their giving. They establish a fund, and all the funds at the foundation are considered endowment funds, which means the purpose is that they will last in perpetuity and go on forever, regardless of whether someone's living or not. And so that's our ultimate goal. But through those funds, they can either direct them as a donor and make recommendations from their fund back out into the community as they wish. Or a lot of donors leave that responsibility up to Stark Community Foundation and feel that we know the needs that need to be met out into the community, and so they give us that awesome responsibility of giving those dollars back out into the community. And then we have others that form a group, similar to like the Women's Fund is doing, in terms of a group of volunteers that see the importance of giving back to the community. And so they have an advisory committee that makes recommendations from their fund back out into the community.
You said the words awesome responsibility, and that was exactly what I was thinking. What an awesome responsibility to be the steward of all of this, these resources. And I'm sure you get contacted by everybody under the sun to be able to tap into some of these resources. What is the best way to go about that for someone who is wanting to perhaps benefit from the foundation?
Well, we have what we call two discretionary grant cycles a year. So, as you mentioned, nonprofit organizations can apply for funding because we do have different pools at the foundation, and one of them is our discretionary funds, what we call our community charitable fund. And so those are the dollars that we utilize to fulfill those grant applications we receive through our discretionary grant process. So twice a year, we have that process, and you can go on our website. All the information is on there. You can apply online. That's the only way to apply is online. So any 501c3 organization or government entity, church entity can apply for funding on our website online.
Does the person who started the fund have a say in who receives the dollars, or they pretty much just give parameters that are good to follow as far as the recipient?
It's a combination. We have some donors that what we call they frame out a field of interest area that they're most passionate about, and so it's still up to our discretion on how to give those dollars out, but we have to keep within their field of interest. And then we have others that do not put any parameters on it and leave it up to our board of directors to dole those dollars out however they see fit. So it's really a combination.
You've been involved for how long?
I've been there almost 4 years.
And what drew you to this?
I've been in this field for a long time, for almost 20 years now, and I think that the driving impetus for me is I am able to work with donors on any level they have in terms of giving. But the neat thing about the foundation is we have all walks of life that are a part of the foundation. I think the common misconception out there is you have to have a lot of wealth to be a part of the foundation, and that's not true at all. And I'm sure Lori can attest to that in terms of different donors that have come through the Women's Fund. There's many people that don't have large amounts of wealth, but they have a very generous heart. And so the foundation is able to speak to that and show that the collective impact of us all together can have a bigger difference in our community. And so being able to work with all different walks of life and help them with their philanthropy, whatever that may be, whatever interest they may have, is something that's really special to me, and it's just a unique way for me to help facilitate that process, and I haven't had that prior to my position at the foundation, so I'm enjoying it.
Very, very cool. Well, let's talk with Lori Keeney, the chair of the Women's Fund, and I know your title is longer than that, but wanting to find out, that is one of the, did you say 600 and some funds that are part? 650 funds that are part of the Stark Community Foundation. So the Women's Fund itself has been around for how long, Lori?
Well, we are celebrating 10 years this year. So this is an exciting year for us. We're really happy to say we're still around after 10 years, and hopefully we'll be around much longer than that.
For sure. And it seems interesting because women and children being one of the main priorities, that there would be a Women's Fund. That seems kind of young as far as if you're saying that the whole foundation has been around for how long?
53 years.
53 years.
Yeah, actually what happened was, I think it was back in 2004 or 5, Cindy Laser was Vice President of Programming and saw that there was a need for the Community Foundation to have a fund that just targeted women and children. She knew that there were other women's funds out there that were making an impact in their communities, and so she gathered 12 wonderful, pioneering, lovely women to make a sizable donation to start this fund, which would grant monies to nonprofits whose programs would benefit just women. Well, not just women and children, but yes, women and children.
But that would be their focus.
That would be their focus, yeah.
So, and there are so many wonderful organizations that do just that. Can you talk about, it's got to be so great to be able to know that you are invested in these in a very real way, very practical way, putting legs on these people's dreams of being able to serve women and children in our community. Who are some of the benefactors?
Well, I'm happy to say that...
I should say beneficiaries. Two words I always confuse, but the people who have received these funds.
Well, the nonprofits, we've actually been able to give 28 different nonprofit organizations over the past 10 years. And we are now, as of today, we just approved our latest grants, which turned out for this year are $12,461, and that's the largest amount that we've ever been able to give out.
Wow.
So we have now given out a total of a little over $72,000 to 28 different organizations over 10 years, and it's exciting. It's exciting. It's exciting to see how those monies help those clients of these organizations.
Are you allowed to say who some of them are?
No.
Not allowed? Okay.
No. I can tell you who the past ones are, but we just approved our grants for 2016, so they don't even know.
Okay, well, let's go. Oh, gosh, I wanted a scoop. I really wanted a scoop. But let's go with past recipients so that you get an idea of the kinds of organizations that have received.
Yeah, and I can just list them if you'd like. I mean, this past year we did the JRC, YWCA, Pregnancy Support Center, Mercy Medical, Hartford Migrant Council. We've done PAL Mission, Pathway, Canton Preschool, Interfaith Child Development, Quest, Seroptimist.
Oh, yeah.
Catholic Charities.
You are mentioning so many who have been organizations who have visited us on our community. And again, as I say, they always mention you as this made it possible. We had this vision, but would not have been able to actually put feet to it and hands to it without these resources. So,
I mean, the women who started this wanted to make sure that these agencies would always have money to help women and children in need. Because unfortunately, there will always be women who are in poverty.
The poor will always be with you.
Yeah, unemployed, undereducated. Yeah. And they wanted to make sure that there was a stream of money to address those needs for them.
What does it mean to you personally? When did you get started with this?
I think it was 2011. I had a friend who contacted me, and at the beginning it was interesting. It was, how would you like to be part of an organization where you don't have any meetings, you don't have to have any annual dues or membership fees. There's no volunteer requirements, but you'd be making a difference. And I was like, oh, okay. So, that kind of got me started.
That's like a perfect recruiter.
No kidding, right?
Wow.
So that got me started, but I have to admit that once I found out what they do and saw how wisely the money is invested and started working with the Stark Community Foundation, then I definitely wanted to become more involved in the Women's Fund.
We're speaking with Lori Keeney and Bridget Neisel. Bridget from the Stark Community Foundation and Lori Keeney specifically with the Women's Fund of the Stark Community Foundation. And, I'm looking at our time. Okay, well, do you have a story or two before we break? A story about that has touched your heart in particularly that maybe was told. I know you've had a luncheon within the past year where some of these people come back and they say the kinds of things that they've done. And I know everybody walks out feeling very warm and fuzzy after something like that. It's like, wow, that was wonderful to hear. Any that come to mind particularly for you?
Actually, a couple of years ago, we had a young lady who was a graduate of the Quest Bright House. It's a recovery facility for teenagers who have gone through struggles with addiction, and we supplied them with with some books, actually a curriculum. But we visited the Bright House, and she really touched my heart because one of the first things she said was, the first thing you need to know about me is I come from a very loving, supportive home.
Wow.
And that just struck me because you have these preconceived notions of what an addict is, and she was not it. So it could happen to anyone. And she was so appreciative of the support that she got from Bright House. And it really turned her life around, and she wants to become a counselor, and she's moving forward, and I've seen her since, and she's in college, and just the fact that we could have a little bit of a part of her success was just It was awesome. It was just a wonderful feeling. It really was.
So cool. That's a good one to take a break on. Yeah, just so nice to be able to be investing in lives that way. We're speaking with Lori Keeney, Bridget Neisel from the Women's Fund and from the Stark County Foundation. Stay with us. You're listening to Our Community.